3 minutes before they FaceTimed me, I sent the edits to them and my new editor for the book, and then they started to FaceTime me, and I was, like, so caught off guard that, like, even though I told them only FaceTime me if I got the bestseller list, like, when I saw the FaceTime, I wasn't like, I got the bestseller list. I was like, "Oh my god, did I get it?" Or, like, I don't even know. And I answered it, and I was like, "Hello?" And they were like, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi." And I was like, "Wait, like, did I get it or not?"
Hello. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of BFFR. Make sure you're following at BFFR Show on all socials and hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, I'm so excited for today's guest. You've definitely seen her on TikTok. She's built a community of over 1 million followers. She keeps it real about growing up, dating, friendship breakups, all of it. She's an author, creator, and honestly, the internet's big sister voice for anyone trying to figure out adulthood, whether it is a quarter life or third life crisis. Please welcome Eli Rallo. Is it just me, or do you also have family members that are impossible to shop for? There are some people I can just grab a candle for and call it a day, but then there are the ones who make you question every gift idea. That's where Macy's comes in. They have personal stylists that can help you find the perfect gift when you're feeling overwhelmed and can't think of anything to get for a certain someone. Like, sometimes I know exactly what to get Lucas, and other times I'm so torn. That's why Macy's personal stylists are such a game changer. They're basically your personal gift guides, experts on all of the brands and trends, and they'll help you find gifts that feel thoughtful for whoever is on your list. The best part is it's totally free. They'll even ship everything for you, and you get 20% off your first purchase. Plus, Macy's Black Friday sale is happening now, so you can grab all your gifts and maybe a little something for yourself at huge savings. I know I'll be keeping my eye on those KitchenAid discounts. So book your first personal stylist session today and find gifts you might not have thought of. Oh my gosh, Eli, thank you so much for being on the BFFR show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited because, well, you're such a girl's girl, and obviously we love that. And you share so much of your life that it feels like I know you. I'm sure you get that all the time. And it is so special to actually get a chance to speak with you, particularly about your New York Times bestseller.
It's so exciting. It's been such a crazy couple of weeks. Like, I can't even believe that any of it's real.
Oh my gosh. Well, does anyone else feel this way? Is your second book? How did you feel releasing it into the world? And you did record your reaction I like how you were like, text me if it doesn't make the list, FaceTime
Oh,
me
yeah.
if it does. So you had an inkling when it was a FaceTime, but sharing that moment, it was still like a very vulnerable moment. Like,
Yeah.
if, oh, yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So the first time I asked them to call me if I didn't and FaceTime me if I did. And honestly, that like just sucked. I don't know why I told them to do that. And a lot of authors like opt for that because I guess like you still want to talk to your team either way. And for people who don't understand basically how this works, the publishing houses get the New York Times bestseller list 3 to 2 hours before it's published on the website.
Oh,
So
okay.
once it's done at around like between like it's really like 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, they send it to like Simon and Schuster, HarperCollins, like all of the publishing houses. So they get access to it early. So that's why like it wasn't on the website yet, but I was like finding out because they got access to it. So I knew that they were going to find out at some point like between
Okay.
those
Before. Okay.
hours.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I asked them to text me because I was like, I just like feel like I just don't want to do the call because like the first time I did the call because I didn't get on it, and I was like, it's just like, damn, like I'm upset now, and I just kind of want to like take the hit and then move on. I don't want to like have a conversation about it. And so with this, I was like, just FaceTime me, but like I had convinced myself out of it. Like I was just like, this is not gonna happen. And I was texting with like my best friend right before, like literally 2 minutes before they FaceTimed me. And I was like, I'm 90% sure it's not happening. And I had like actually like made peace with that. So like I was really expecting a text and I had also put them on do not disturb. So I was like, I'm just gonna go about my night. But I was on my laptop actually working on my third book. And so I was like, if they FaceTime me, it'll pop up on my laptop. I'll be able to video it on my phone. If they don't FaceTime me, I'm just the next time I check my texts, like I'll just see the
Okay.
text. That was kind of like my plan. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep working. So I was like working 3 minutes before they FaceTimed me. I sent the edits to them and my new editor for the book. I was like, oh, I just finished this round of edits on the book, sent it, and then texted my friend that. And then they started to FaceTime me. And I was like so caught off guard that like even though I told them only FaceTime me if I got the bestseller list, like I can't
Oh.
explain that, like, I didn't, like when I saw the FaceTime, I wasn't like, I got the bestseller list. I was like, "Oh my god, did I get it?" Or like, I don't even know. And I answered it and I was like, "Hello?" And they were like, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi." And I was like, "Wait, like, did I get it or not?" It was like this moment of like pure shock. And it was so funny because they screen recorded it, my agents on their end. And you can see other members of my team texting them, being like, call us after you talk to her. Like, patch us in. We want to talk to her. And it was so funny. I'm like, oh my God, they're texting. Like, they texted everyone before they called me, being like, she got on the list. We're about to call her. So obviously, though, they called me like right after that. So the texts, it's so cute. Like on their end, are rolling in from like my publicist, my assistant, and like my social media team, since they're like my literary team. So it's just like a really special moment for the whole team. Like I have my team is like family to me. And I know like everyone says that, but it hasn't always been that way. Like it took me a while to find people that like I really feel like are in it, like are actually on my team, not just like on my team, like, oh, they're on the payroll, but like are really on
Yeah.
my side. So it was such a group win. It really felt like a group win. Like we were all celebrating and I loved them all. And I was just so excited.
Well, you also shared that there's so much of what you say and what you put out there that I can relate to. And after Does Anyone Else Feel This Way reach the bestseller list, you also posted how like people didn't believe in you and thought that you had been given advantages. And it was like, obviously, you didn't write it to just prove people wrong because you had stories to share, but it also clearly must have felt really good. And now you're writing a third book.
I think I think when people don't believe in me, it's just fuel for me.
Hmm.
Like, it definitely, like, is a knock to the confidence. Like, I get this comment all the time, like, she only ever got a book deal because of her platform. And that's definitely, like, partially true. Like, my platform is the reason why I was able to get my first book deal. But your platform
Is you.
alone is, like, also, like, I built that. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
also it's like my first book sold 50,000 copies. That like most books sell 2,000 in their whole lifetime before they stop getting printed. My second book is a New York Times bestseller, USA Today bestseller, Publishers Weekly bestseller. I don't know what to tell you though, like cuz a platform just doesn't give you those things. Like and
Right.
then also the other thing that I get often, and it's just so frustrating as a woman to hear stuff like this, that like my dad bought me my book deal or that he had connections in publishing. And the thing is, like, I've always been open that I'm a privileged person. Like, not only am I a white woman, but I grew up privileged. Like, my parents had money, and that sets you ahead. And that's something that I've never denied. But also, what's so frustrating is like, if my dad called up a publisher to help me get a book deal, I would be transparent about that. I wouldn't have gone to grad school. I would have been writing books far earlier.
Yeah.
But also, they're like, proof of that is that my dad self-published a coffee table book about Italy to sell as merch at his restaurants, which is cool. Like, but anybody can do that. That's not getting a book deal. That's like
Yeah.
if you and I right now decided that we're having a great conversation, let's write a coffee table book, we could pay someone to publish it for us. And it would be on Amazon and we could get a bunch of copies and then we could
Yeah.
sell them. Like
Yeah.
anybody can do that, which is amazing, by the way. Self-publishing is super dope. But like the fact that you're taking like a tidbit, a thing that my dad did 12 years ago, and trying to leverage it as a reason as to why I was able to reach success is disheartening. And I feel like wouldn't be a thing if I wasn't a woman. And I hate to bring it back to that because it feels like such like a cheap, I don't know, thing to say, but it really does frustrate me so much. So to be able to win when like that's the kind of shit that I'm reading about myself all the time, it does feel good. I hate to say that it does feel good because like I'm able to also be, you know, vindicated when I'm not like having an external validation to win. Like I've made peace with the fact that some people are going to believe a made up thing about me, but the people that don't are the people that matter. But it is frustrating. So it did feel good because also like it's been something that I've been really working toward my whole life. And the last few years, especially not getting on it the first time, I think like only fueled me more. And they were all the first time, like she'll never write another book. And it's like the second one was happening before the first one came out. The third one was happening before the second one came out. Like you cannot stop me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, the internet, it obviously gave you a platform and you've been able to be yourself and people love you and do these amazing things. But it's just funny how it always has that balance. As athletes, it's the same, right? People know about what we're doing and we get the support and connect with people, but you make a mistake or you do something or you wear something or whatever, you can just the trolls
Yeah.
will always find you. They have a way to
They'll
find you.
always find you and they're kind of obsessed. Like
Yeah.
I just don't really have like time like that.
Yeah,
And then like
exactly.
even when I see something that's like I'm kind of like about on the internet, my first like gut reaction is not to like start like spinning a story about that
Never.
person, start like going on a separate apps. Now I'm on a Discord chat talking about that person. Like
Never.
it does feel kind of like loser behavior. And The Cut wrote a really interesting article about it. They interviewed a bunch of people who are like obsessed with like trolling on the internet on female influencers.
Really?
And all of them, yeah. And all of them were like, yeah, my friends don't know that I'm like obsessed with influencer Reddits because they just like, they're not interested in that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, they don't know because it's literally so embarrassing to do that. They don't know because they would be like, why are you doing that with your time? And they're like, they just aren't like into it like I am. And I'm like, really? Because if my friends aren't into something like I am, I usually tell them about it and they still think it's cool. Like I have my best friend is obsessed with the WNBA. She talks about it nonstop. I still listen because we're best friends. Like, if there's something that you're obsessed with, like, as a friend, the friend is supposed to like be interested and involved, even if they're not obsessed with it too. So it's like, you're just basically admitting that it's embarrassing.
Yes. You said it. You said it perfectly. That is loser behavior. And you know that
Yeah.
that's why you're not telling your friends about it.
Yeah.
So, for anyone who lives under a rock or who isn't on Eli Talk, can you explain the viral video that started it all and also how your relationship with the internet maybe has changed since going viral?
Sure. So it was 2020. It was 5 years ago. It's just like so crazy, almost six. I was at home for the pandemic. I was a senior in college, quarantining with my family. And I, well, growing up, had this like trail mix jar in my parents' house. It was this big jar. And we would just like fill it with nuts and like chips and cookies and like whatever. And like you would just like take a scoop of it. And it was kind of like a thing with my friends and whatever, like this jar that my parents had. And so like one random night, my brothers and I were like bored during the pandemic. And so we like went to refill it. And at the time, I'd been making a lot of TikToks on friends only for like my college friends, my high school friends, like I wasn't seeing because of like quarantine. So I went to post it on friends only to like do that so that they could see it. And I accidentally put it on public. And it was just like a video of us like filling this jar, like with stuff. And honestly, like overnight, had like 100K views. Like it was a lot, but it wasn't that much. And then for some reason, like I can't even remember like why I took all the steps I did with this, but like obviously it worked out. I like made an explainer video and it was just very much so like me centric. Like I did the green screen, which I now do all the time. I was talking really fast, which I do talk fast, but I talk even faster on the internet because like it really baits people. People like
Yeah.
fast talking on the internet. And I was being myself and theatrical and kind of like explaining what the thing was. And that video got 1 million views. I was like, what the heck? So basically, like within the first 3 months of doing it, I had like 100K. And at first, it was just like we'd make jar videos, but I would also make other videos too, like just whatever I wanted. I went to grad school. I kept TikToking, but I never once was like, oh, this is a job. But as also because like these days, if you have like 100K on TikTok, you could make money from it. But back then, it was before there was like management. It was still coming off of like the Musical.ly thing. I went to grad school. I even got a job after grad school. I was like, I'm not doing this for a job. So I think the first way that my relationship with the internet changed was like accepting it as a career and like learning how I could make money from it, which I think a lot of people assume like followers equals money automatically, but it doesn't. Like there's a lot of strategy that's involved in like actually making a business out of the brand that you build. So that was the first way that it changed from like strictly a hobby to more of like, oh, this is like my livelihood. But now I think it's changed in that I've just like been better about boundary setting on the internet. Um, I I just feel like at first, like I was also really young. Like when I first went viral, I was 21. So I'm 27 now. And so I think like the first few years I was like really oversharing. I was like really just like kind of putting it all out there. And I definitely do still overshare, but I found a comfort level with like the internet. And I also just try, like, I've gotten into periods of time where I think I like forget that like the internet is not the real world. And it's something that it's like, it's really hard to explain to someone who doesn't have to be plugged into their phone all the time. So I
Yeah.
try to just like take my boundaries with it and remember that like if it went away, like I still have a life
Yeah.
that I love and I'm like happy with. So yeah, it's changed my relationship with the internet has ebbed and flowed a ton throughout the last few years.
Well, you have what I think is the ultimate compliment being called Gen Z's Carrie Bradshaw. Do you resonate with that title?
I mean, I think, like, I've never self-titled, like, the whole, like, internet big sister thing, internet Carrie Bradshaw, Gen Z, like, I appreciate all of it, and I love that I can resonate with people in ways that, like, they liken me to things that they love or things that they feel nurtured or cared for by, like, that is so meaningful to me, but I've never, like, self-titled because I'm like, I don't know, I'm not gonna do that. But I would say the Carrie Bradshaw thing, like, I'm a big defender of hers. I don't think she's perfect, but nobody is. I think the people that I always say if you're gonna criticize Carrie Bradshaw, I hope you have a Nobel Peace Prize because like nobody is above going back to an ex or occasionally being a
Yeah.
shitty friend or like being obsessed with love. I don't know. Like, yeah, sometimes she is a bad person. Aren't you? And that's not to say I feel like I'm a bad person all the time, but like people make mistakes. I don't know. And
Yeah.
people can be selfish. But all is to say, I always say that I think like there are things I see in her for sure that I also see in myself. I feel like I feel like I'm a better friend than her and I have worse shoes, but I still am working on the collection. But I've gotten to talk to Sarah Jessica Parker about it actually because we met and she knew kind of like the vibes.
Oh my
And she was just
gosh.
so nice and told me I was like doing a great job and like she was just so sweet to me. So I feel like I look up to her more because she's like she loves Broadway and she loves books and she has her whole like reading thing and she's been like a business owner. Like she really inspires me. So I've got to talk to her about it though, which is very cool.
That is so cool. I mean, yeah, she's the woman who brought Carrie Bradshaw to life. So yeah, I guess SJP is the real hero here. Okay, so I retired from soccer. I guess when this comes out, it will be 2 weeks ago, but yesterday. So I am one of the biggest things that I want to commit to doing since I'm entering into this abyss and I need to find a new job and a new career is journaling. And someone who really inspired me to do that was you. And it's perfect timing because it's Notebook November. So, I mean, for anyone who maybe is either on the fence or is like, that's not for me, how has it helped you with your writing and how obviously the response was so good a year ago, but could you dive in a little bit about journaling and the process and why you're encouraging other people to do it with you?
So it's just something I've always done. Like before I think it's kind of trendy now, but which is
Yeah.
great. But I think it's, like, something I've always done, like, I've always loved to, like, write things down, like, keep a diary or a scribe, and it really helps me to, like, make sense of my emotions, like, I feel that it's just very therapeutic for me, and so I thought last year to share it with my audience when I was going through a time when I had, like, gotten away from it a little bit, and I thought I really needed to get back onto doing it more, and it sort of, like, reinvigorated that. And last November, I did it every day, but I wasn't able to keep up with it that well because, like, the video like, not only is it I come up with all the prompts myself. People are like, "How do you come up with these?" I'm like, "I think of them."
Yeah,
So
that's a job in itself.
thinking of like 30 prompts and then making sure that they all flow together. And then I feel like the process of making the video takes like half an hour or more because I'm making the video, editing the video, and then I have to take the time to do the prompt too so that I can like share my findings on it. I'm not just going to not do the prompt. So it almost takes an hour. And then on top of it, like I just got kind of burnt out from doing it every day. And I also felt like people fell behind because I see people tagging me in the stories and the TikToks of them doing it. And a lot of people fell behind because it's hard to carve out an hour every day. I just thought it'd be more manageable Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then if I'm feeling it, I can add a couple like bonus rounds. Um, and we'll see how it goes. So tomorrow's the second one. Yesterday was the first one. But like I wanted everyone to like do the first one before we did the second one. And last year it just got really hard. But of course there are some people being like, "Where's 2 and 3 and 4?" And I'm like, no, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited. Could you give, obviously this will come out in a little bit, or you can give one from last year, but what would be an example prompt if someone is just wants to try it today?
Yeah, so the first prompt is like my favorite journal prompt. It's something I revisit a lot. We did it last year, but I want to do it again. And it's what is the ideal version of your life, but like within reason. So like not like what is like the crazy like what is the ideal version of your life within reason, like not I win the lottery and I buy a mansion, like what does your job look like, what do your relationships look like, what does socializing look like for you. And then that's like the first page and a half, and the second page and a half is what would I have to change to get closer to my ideal life. And usually when I do that I find it's like not that many things and it's like not that difficult. Like sometimes there are big like ticket items, but usually it's like get off my phone more,
Yeah. Yeah.
make more plans with friends. Like, normally it's just realizations of like, oh, I'm in control of this. So I love that one. That was the one yesterday.
Yeah, you've also talked about writing lists and gratitude lists. And that was the first way for me. Meditation felt really, really daunting. And it was something that
Yeah.
when I went to a new team or met someone who was into meditation, or a club or a team would say, "Yeah, we want everyone to meditate." But it felt so like a big ask and a big task. And for me, just to write a list, I couldn't do it every night. That's why I'm going to try to journal more in November. But just to write a list of things that you're grateful for can change your day, your outlook, your mindset. And I love that you write about being grateful and being positive. You put a very fun, positive spin on a lot of things, which I'm going to get into a little bit later that seem a little bit stressful. But I think, yeah, if anyone listening as well would just wants to try a form of meditation or gratitude journaling, I think making a list of things you're grateful for, especially we're going into Thanksgiving, is a really,
It's
really
really
good way to
good.
start.
I agree.
Okay, so a lot of our listeners are maybe a little more millennial than Gen Z, and you write about conquering the quarter life crisis, but I think it can apply to a third life crisis as well. What does that phrase mean to you now? I mean, you're planning a wedding and you have this book on a bestseller list. What does the quarter life crisis mean?
I think it's just like a sort of reaching of age that like you've been climbing toward. Like I think like when you're a young person there's so many like milestones, like there's like okay, like preschool to kindergarten, kindergarten to elementary, elementary to middle, middle to high school, then high school to if you go to trade school, if you go to college, if you go into the workforce, and then after college post grad, and then you have your post grad years, then it's all of a sudden like you've arrived. And it's like but you've arrived to what? Like, when I got to that point, I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And I don't know what I expected, but it, like, wasn't like I don't know, like, reality was so, like, grave. It was so, like, grim. It was so, like, intense. It was so isolating. So I feel like it's a very common thing, especially for Gen Z and millennial women. I think we have a lot of a lack of mentorship in the way that, like, we're kind of the first generation that has the level of mobility and access that we do. And, like, for the first time ever, we're, like, living alone, putting off motherhood, putting off
Yes,
marriage.
that's a big one. Yeah.
We're also accessing spaces that we never had access to. We're in positions of power. We're out earning men. Like all of these things that kind of are unprecedented for young women. And so we can't really look necessarily to our moms and grandmas, maybe more our moms, but like the women before us to be like, how do we handle this? Because it is so new. And that's such a good thing. Like that's such something to celebrate, but it can be very daunting to be like,
Yeah.
this is like, we're the first.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it is so different thinking about how we as women, in the world we're in, the society we're in, and just what our values and our principles and our collective voice and being connected on social media, having inspiration like you, reading books like yours, and it is. I think that's probably why so many people connect to public figures, and when someone is willing to share like you what you're going through, how you think about things, because our guides are almost our peers now instead of
Yeah.
someone who was in the generation above. It is really
Yeah.
different.
It's so different.
Do you have an essay in the book that was scary to write or that you almost didn't include?
Everything that I intended to include, I included. So, like, when I made the chapter list, like, everything from
Mm-hmm.
what I intended is there, but there were definitely moments that were more difficult than others for sure. There's a couple of chapters that do deal with, like, friendship breakups. There's a chapter that deals with, like, health and OCD and mental health, and I think, like, those chapters were definitely a bit more of a challenge, but, like, I'm ultimately grateful I included them. When I was in the process, I was so, like, in it. It was so different from the first time. Like, the first time I was very, like, out of it, where I was, like, really, like, thinking about the perception of the book, and with this book, I was so in it and, like, so ingrained in the material that I, like, didn't really think about, like, what people would think about it. So, when I went to do my audiobook recording, which, like, I read the audiobook, I left and I was like, I did not remember that being so personal when I wrote it. So I definitely felt a bit of like, damn. But I was happy. I was like, well, it's gone to the printer, so it's kind of over now. By the time I realized like it was personal, it was kind of too late, which maybe is a good thing. I feel
Yeah.
fine about it. I feel fine.
It was a big success. I love that you talk about friendship breakups. Sometimes they can be even more painful than and awkward and weird, I think, than romantic breakups. And I think, ah, I going into this next chapter of my life, I think there have been a lot of people who maybe I used my career as an excuse for being too busy traveling and having a game to not be able to get together with people. Oh god, my friends listening to this are going to be like, oh god, does she mean me? But I think now, as I have more time or just different time, I feel like there definitely will be people that I don't have a close relationship with, that maybe I just have been putting it off or haven't realized that actually, now that I have time, I still that friendship or that relationship isn't serving me. But it's kind of it's a little bit confronting. And I think about, like, what does that mean about me? But do you what have you learned in your 20s or recently about being a good friend? Or how do you think you've changed as a friend?
I think the biggest thing I've realized is that like you don't always have to be on the same page. Like if and like if my best friend is deciding if she's going to move to California or not, and we both live in New York, let's just say, like it's okay if my best friend decides that for her own happiness and joy, she needs to move to California, even though I would prefer for her to stay in New York because she's my best friend, and we can still be friends. Like I just realized like you can make decisions for yourself and your own joy. You have to put yourself first. Like everybody is the main character of their own story. Nobody is a side character in their own story. So you have to stop centering what other people would value
Mm,
from your
mhm,
life instead of
mhm.
like what you would value. Like if you're acting like the main character of your own story, then it's like, okay, like I'm going to move to California because I want to move to California, even though it's going to be hard because I'm going to miss my people. I know this is right for me. And then from there, the people that are meant to be in your life are going to continue to be in your life because they
Yes.
realize that they have to support your happiness, even if it's not the idea of happiness that they would have chosen. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes. Yes, definitely. We all deserve to be our own main character. And I think that the distance friendships, just like a distance relationship, romantic relationship, it is I love how they're the friendships where, okay, maybe it doesn't work so much with a partner, but where if you don't talk, but when you see each other, it's like nothing has changed.
For the best. It's the best.
And you know if you have that feeling with someone. If you get
Yeah.
together and a long time has passed and you don't really know what to talk about or the conversation stalls and you're not really looking forward to see the person, then those main characters maybe have just grown apart. And
Yeah, maybe that's not your person anymore, and
yeah.
that's okay, and that's okay.
Well, we're also I speaking of friendships and Friendsgiving, and I love what you said about if you have a Friendsgiving, everyone bring someone who's single.
Oh my god,
Help.
yeah, like, even if you're not single, why wouldn't you do that? And then all these
Yes.
people can meet.
Yes. Help your friends out here. But I was heartbroken when you said that Halloween was a bench holiday.
Just
And
for me.
I know. So what doesn't grab you about Halloween? I need to know. My birthday is the
I like
30th. I'm like super obsessed with
okay,
Halloween.
so I love that, and I like Halloween, like, from the like, I like to, like, spectate Halloween. October I've always just found that, like, October has always felt like such a busy month for me. And it's like now all of a sudden there's this like expectation to have a costume. And then like when you're online, I feel like the expectation is like even greater that the costume has to be like so
Ooh,
good.
I didn't think
And
about that.
I'm like, I already like didn't love this, and now there's like this additional pressure. This year though, I was kind of enticed by like the theatricality of the costumes. And I was like, I could see myself doing a costume next year, but like not to like be that annoying person that does it for a photo shoot, but like I would do that. Like to celebrate Halloween and post it. Like it looked fun. Like I like getting my photo taken and I like being creative with like photo shoots and video shoots. So like I think that looks fun. I'm also not big into like parties. I like holiday parties. I like birthday parties, but like I'm not a big like go out girl. I don't go out a lot. So also the idea of like going out in a Halloween costume kind of stresses me. So there's that. You know, it's just not my favorite, but that's not to say that I don't think it's great. Like I still really like Halloween.
Okay, well, you had great reasons for it not being your favorite, but I now have to wait a whole year. But I'm excited to see if yeah, what happens next year. If maybe a
Yeah, maybe
little
I'll get into it.
Halloween
Maybe I'll get
photo
into
shoot.
it.
I was impressed with how people got into it this year. Like it's been a tough year, especially here in
People
LA.
killed it. People killed it.
And like you said, at first I was like, oh, because traditionally it's well, first to go trick or treating and then to go to a party and maybe to take a photo. And like Heidi Klum obviously set the bar so high. But I actually loved that people use their creativity with TikTok and so
Yeah.
to make videos where the costume was already great, but it comes alive when you
It
have
comes
the
to like
audio.
it's very theatrical.
Yes,
It's very
exactly.
theatrical.
Yes, people did really well.
People did great this year.
But I think you have talked about how um things that you like about being an adult. And I thought, this is what I need because obviously embarking on now, I feel too much like an adult. I got to be a soccer player and be on a team and have people tell you what to do, where to go, what to wear for 30 years. And then now I'm like, I actually have to adult. But all this to say, you need to just go watch all of all of Eli's content. But the other thing that you made the holidays, which I often feel like they're a little bit stressful, but you had all these great things about the holidays. So going into Thanksgiving, Christmas, when is too soon to start decorating for Christmas? Like, is there a too
Oh,
soon? Do you pause
like
at fall?
no, and like I live between 2 places and my fall and winter are also so busy that like I'm not really going to get to decorate because it's like I'm leaving here for 2 weeks, then I'm back for 5 days, then I'm leaving again. It just doesn't make sense to like put up decorations to enjoy for like 72-hour. It's ever. So I would recommend if you don't have that like nomadic lifestyle that I do to embrace decorating because once I am more like parked and present in one place, like I will love to decorate. And I'm like so excited to like soak up all like the New York City Christmas decorations And my parents, I know they'll decorate their house. Like, I'm like so looking forward to that. It's the best. So like if you can decorate, you should. It just doesn't make sense for me this year. Like I put out a couple of my holiday mugs. That's like the extent that I'm going though, because like I'm seriously not here. Like I'm here and I'm in Texas right now. So like I'm in Texas and then I'm leaving tomorrow for 2 weeks. I'm back for a week, leaving for a week, back for a week, leaving for 2 weeks, and then it's over. So it's
Oh
like
my gosh.
it's not really giving like appropriate amount of time to decorate, but I wish it was.
The life of a showgirl. But
Exactly.
you did give a hot tip about going to hotel bars. And you're so
Oh my
right.
God.
Like the that sounded out of context really weird, but the decorations.
They do such a good job in like the ambiance of a hotel bar. I like am a huge hotel bar girl. One, because like I travel a lot, so I often find myself at hotels. But two, I just think like you're always gonna get the most interesting mix of people. Like if you're at a hotel bar, like we're gonna see flight attendants, you're gonna see people on a date, you're gonna see people staying at the hotel from out of town, you're gonna see people who
Yeah.
frequent the hotel because they love the hotel. You'll see businessmen like by themselves, people on a work trip. Like it's just the best, most eclectic group of people.
Yeah. That was really great advice, especially if you're traveling and you maybe want to get that little fix and you can't be home. Um, okay, well, we talked about media and pressure a little bit already. How do you stay present when like the attention span of people is so short and you are like you said you're traveling, you have this third book in the works. Is there something that you do? Obviously journaling definitely would keep everyone grounded, but is there anything else you do to like live more presently when you have so much going on?
I try my best. It is so hard though.
Yeah.
Like it's something that you have to be really intentional about. Like I think right now when I'm in such like a building phase of my career, like I really feel like I'm just getting started with everything. Like is the time to like put the pressure on myself the most to hustle. So I really do feel like 24/7 work, 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 but
Yeah.
I'm happy and content with that. So I think like because I'm okay with that, it's good. And then I try to just like have things that sort of like buoy or ground me. Like the journaling's a good example, therapy's a good example. Most of my friends and family don't utilize social media and the internet the way I do. So like being around them is super helpful. I don't really make content when I'm with my loved ones. I just like unplug. So that's also really great. And then I find little pockets. Like I took a little break for a girls' trip in April, I think it was. I took another little break kind of recently. I take breaks here and there. So hopefully another one toward the end of this year. It's always just helpful to like take a minute and take a beat away from being online.
Do you feel pressure? I mean, you have over 1 million followers. Sounds like a very good practice to unplug sometimes, but do you ever feel like with how you said with the journaling, when even though you were very clear about what days the prompts would come out, that people are like, yeah, they need something from you or they want something from you all the time? Do you feel a lot of pressure around that?
I do. I try to like remain really grateful in it though. Like what a privilege it is to have people that like are so demanding of my time and energy and like their need for me to entertain them. Like that's such a good thing. Like that's what I wanted. I will say though, I do get like I feel that like because I've been volume posting for so long and like have
Mhm.
posted at such a high level for so long that like it's expected of me to continue to do that and that like I have this fear that if I like don't do that like it's like letting my audience down and I think like my audience isn't like that but it is yeah it is that bit of kind of pressure that I just want to be the best for them possible, and I want to be, like, so careful and responsible with everything, and I try so hard. I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing, when you try really hard, you feel like you're putting a lot of genuine intentional effort there, and I
Mhm.
care so much. I think it comes across, though.
Yes, it definitely does. And it's funny because when we talk about everyone being their own main character and when you are giving this amazing advice, it's kind of cool because we are looking to each other to help us out in tough times. And I think everything you say is empowering people to also, if you don't post something, that they can do something for themselves. And you're just being so real. And I definitely think, n- not that what I say will take any of the pressure off, but I do think everything you say is about being real and even sharing right now how you feel, and you give so much. I think yeah, I feel like you have a good girl gang behind you who would definitely understand.
I appreciate that.
And oh my gosh, you do a great roundup of the month, and I loved your October
Oh my
roundup
gosh,
of the
thank
month.
you.
Oh my gosh, and I just finished binging Nobody Wants This. I always do Twilight over the holidays, and one of
Yes,
my
Twilight's so good.
so and I saw this one woman posted all the red flags in Twilight, and it was so
There's
funny.
so many.
There's
It's like
so many.
it's like so poorly done. It's like, how does a movie like with this much like fanfare have this small of a budget? Like it's so low budge.
It is so funny watching it straight through, from like
It's
the
hilarious.
makeup and
It's
just
so
some
bad.
of the dialogue. You're like, how
Yeah,
did she fall for this guy? What are we doing here?
it's crazy. It's literally
Uh,
crazy.
I mean, you just can't help it.
You
It's
have to
just,
laugh.
I know. I'm like, Twilight and Harry Potter are my like holiday once it kind of gets gloomy here in
It's a
LA,
little
but
colder, yeah.
you just got to do it.
You gotta
And
lock in.
yes, one of my favorite things that, well, I very, very much believe this, and you mentioned it as being something that's out, and it's wanting a village, but not being a villager. And this is something that I think when it comes to everything, like what you're doing, and a lot of us who are public figures or just anything with friendships, I think this covers so much of that, where, we say it takes a village and you want to be part of a village, but you have to also give. Like, you can't just take. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And when I saw it put that way, it just really, really resonated with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and sometimes it's inconvenient. Like,
Yes.
sometimes being a villager, like, isn't gonna be your first choice. Sometimes it costs money. Sometimes it's not something that you wanna do. Like, I see people all the time complaining about getting invited to weddings, like, without a plus one. And if you can't afford it, I'm not talking to you. I totally get that. I've told everybody already who doesn't have a plus one for my wedding, like, you do not have to like, you know, I understand. I would
Yes.
never end a friendship over that. I get it. Like, I hate doing the caveat Olympics, but that caveat, like, I get it. Like, if
Yeah.
you can't afford to go to a wedding by yourself, totally
Yes.
understandable. But if you just don't want to because you don't feel like socially going into a situation like that by yourself, like, I don't know how much you deserve the village that you purport so much to care about because you don't want to be a villager. I am engaged and I've gone to weddings before by myself. My best friend took me as her plus one to her sister's wedding where she was the maid of honor. I knew nobody but my best friend and her mom. I was alone the entire time. That's family of the bride. I was
Yeah.
alone the entire time, but that's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I want to be in community with her. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to come to your sister's wedding and be alone the entire time. Like, I don't care. I was alone literally the entire time. But, like, why would I not do that for her?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would I, if I can, why would I not? And it's just like, so I think the plus one conversation on the weddings thing, like, that is like I'm boots down. That's how I feel. I've gone to weddings alone before. People have been like, before I was engaged, like, you can't bring your boyfriend to my wedding. And I'm like, but I want to be in community with you. So I'm going to
Yeah.
come.
1000%.
It's really crazy. Like, I had said that there's like a really small number of people who are in relationships, uh, and coming to my wedding and they can't bring their partner because like we don't have the space and like everyone's like get a bigger venue and I'm like it's just not really how it works. Like there's not bigger venue like no, I
What?
wanted the wedding to be of a certain size.
Yeah.
And so we said like unless like we're doing it case by case. So like if we're really good friends with somebody and their partner, they're both
Yeah.
invited. If someone's engaged or married, their partner is invited obviously as well. And then if somebody's in a relationship with someone we don't really know, maybe they're not invited. And then there are a very, very, very small amount of people who are single and might not know a lot of other people. And I privately, one on one, had a conversation with every single one of those people that I invited. And I let them know, I was like, I totally understand. We're not able to offer you the plus one. I want you to hear it from me. If you want to bring someone to everything else, I said, you can bring them to the welcome party. You can bring them to the goodbye event. You can have them show up at the wedding at 9 p.m. after dinner and come to dancing. Like, I just can't fit another plate or another seat at the ceremony. people on the internet did like I literally shot someone. I was like, wait, if I was gonna go to a wedding where I didn't know people and I got to skip the dinner and I got to skip the ceremony,
And
I'd be
come to
like,
the party.
let's
Yeah.
ride. Like
Yeah.
that's what everyone wants to do. And I was like, on top of that, like I just feel like that's really generous to do. I thought that was a really kind thing to do. In traditional Catholic weddings, like a lot of people don't come to the ceremony. Like
Right.
there's only
Yeah.
the party. Like, you
Yeah.
know, in different cultures, it's also normal to do that. I just wanted my people to have as much flexibility as possible when I wasn't able to accommodate them. So instead of just being like, you can't bring your partner plus one, you can bring them to everything else. I just really can't like the place is big enough for your person to come, but not to sit. Like that's the problem. Like, so I can't offer them those two things, but for everything else, like they're so welcome. And like the way the internet reacted at me, I was like, I just feel like that's me being in community with other people too. And by the way, I didn't care how people reacted toward me because all the people who I talked to about that were like so gracious. They were like, half of them were like, no, I'm not bringing anyone. I just want to be
Yeah.
around your
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
you. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care. And half of them were like, oh my God, that's so nice. I'll totally take you up on that. So it's like, I don't really know what the problem is here. I'm just trying to be
Oh.
accommodating. And I just feel like people are really like, it's the pandemic plus Gen Z is into this like instant gratification and they feel very entitled to things. And it's just like this swirly mix of like, people just don't want to be in community with other people as much as they say that they do. Like, you need to bring your neighbor eggs when they knock on your door. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, you need to go pick people up at the airport. It's stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I did not realize that would be such a hot take. I am definitely on the same page as you. And that is, I think, generous to even invite someone to the reception. But yeah, I think I also would never think if I was going to a wedding and I was single, like you say, and then if I met someone, like it's set. And then if I meet
Yeah,
someone
it's done.
right before the wedding,
No, it's
I mean,
done.
you can ask, but I think if I can't bring the person I just met that has never met the people getting married, I feel like that should be very understandable. But
I think that should be very understandable, but you know, it's not.
yes. Yes. My husband and I just got married in January. So we
Oh,
were
congratulations.
thank you. We had all of this, but it's yeah, fun to talk about it with you.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, well, let's end on just a couple fun, quick questions here. What's a small joy that's getting you through the week?
Oh, Dancing with the Stars tonight. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I've been
I
loving.
I do miss Alona. I'm like Alona's number
Ah,
one fan. I'm like,
yeah.
just bring her back on. Bring her back on.
Bring back Alona.
Yes, all the contestants are great, but also let's add Alona again.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right. Tonight. Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift era?
My favorite Taylor Swift era is The Tortured Poets. I think it's kind of like a hot take, but I fell in love with
Yeah.
it like on first listen and I adore it. But most of my life it was Lover. Like I was an early adopter of Lover. I've Taylor Swift has been my number one artist on Spotify since 2017, which is crazy because like it's crazy because I wasn't as big of a fan as I am now back then, but she was always just like the music I would go to. I to be honest, like you're hearing it here first. I think it's gonna be Ariana this year. She's always in the top 5, but I think she's gonna be number 1 this year because I've just been reaching for her discography. Like I play the This Is Taylor Swift. I play the This Is Ariana too. I've been reaching for it a lot. So I'm curious to see how that shakes out. But I just feel like she was always what I would reach for to like study and write in college. And then like
Yeah.
I became a really big fan. So it was Lover for such a long time. But then Torture Poets usurped.
Wait, when do we get the roundup? The Spotify roundup?
December 1st usually.
Okay, kind of soon. Kind of soon.
It's coming.
Okay. Well, I know you'll let us know who was at
Yes.
the top.
Yes. Yes.
What's your most used TikTok sound? Or do you have like an audio that you think of?
I don't really have an audio that I like go over and over with. I feel like if I use an audio, I clean out my audios. So if I use an audio, I delete it off.
That's probably smart.
Unless I want to use it again. But if I use it and it's like kind of one of those one and done ones, I take it out so I don't do it again.
Yeah. I've been loving the I did it with my teammates going back to Twilight. The when everyone is running and looking like they're running like the vampires.
Yeah.
So I just have that like like I have that stuck in my head. for all of
I love
this
it.
fall. Ooh, okay. Maybe I know this because I did see your roundup, but it's now been a week. Is there a current show that you're binge watching?
I just last night started I Love LA, the new Rachel Sennett show on HBO Max. I only watched the first episode. I don't live in LA, so I can't speak to like biblical accuracy LA. I've never had that experience, but I think it's really hard to get the whole like digital influencer media space right. And from the first 30 minutes, like it feels like she's gonna do it. So they're doing week by week drops, like as HBO does. But I loved episode one, so I recommend.
Okay, yeah, I need to watch that. And also, it just brings me back too much with the one a week, like being desperate
Yeah.
for it to come
I
out.
kind of like it.
Yeah, those were tough times. And then I would
Yeah.
TiVo it so I wouldn't have to watch the commercials. At least there's no commercials. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not all the way back into the
Yeah.
early 2000s here. Okay, last question. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone in their mid-20s or mid-30s freaking out about adulthood, what would it be?
I think I would just say to have more fun. Like, one realization that I have pretty often is how, like, fleeting and kind of ridiculous and silly life is, but also how, like, meaningful and deep it can be. But, like, I think the true purpose is to, like, love and be loved in return and have a good time. Like, enjoy and try to enjoy yourself, especially when things are, like, as tough as they are right now. Like, try to find joy and hope through all the chaos.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you for taking time. You're so busy. Eli, coming on this show, it means so much. And congrats again on Does Anyone Else
Thank
Feel This
you.
Way? And can't wait to see what book number 3 brings for us. But no,
Thank
honestly,
you.
it was a huge honor to have you on and happy holidays.
I appreciate you. Happy holidays.
All right, it's time for Add to Cart presented by Macy's, where each week I'll share one thing I'm loving right now. It could be a vibe, a trend, a person, a moment, and you can always find your faves at Macy's.com. This week, for the holidays, I'm adding both Twilight and Harry Potter because I binge the entire series of both of those every holiday season. Yes, I just watched all the Twilight movies. And okay, maybe they're not holiday related, but as soon as we get just a whisper of cold air here in LA, it's time to watch Twilight. And I actually just made a video of my teammates running as if they were vampires. And I just felt really inspired. And obviously, Harry Potter. I mean, it has a little bit of the Halloween-y vibe too, but the Weasleys, the sweaters, the magic mistletoe when Harry and Cho Chang share their kiss. I mean, the Yule Ball. You gotta watch Harry Potter over the holidays. And if you're in shopping mode, don't forget the Macy's Parade of Deals is happening now. A brand new limited time deal drops every single day through Thanksgiving, from cozy essentials like a Weasley sweater to gifts and glam accessories. Check the Macy's app or Macy's.com for today's deal drop. All right, that's it for this week's episode of BFFR. Thank you so much to Eli for hanging out and talking about all the things. And I'm going to have to go hit up a hotel bar for the holidays. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. Follow us on @BFFR Show on all socials, and I will see you next Monday.